Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nitwa Louise.
Mr. President, my name is Louise from the Western Province in Ngororero District, Anyange village. At that time, it was the prefecture of Kibuye, the commune of Kivumu, before the system was changed. I'm married and a mother of 5. Mr. President, let me announce here that what is going to be said, what I'm going to say, was experienced by a 10-year-old. I was very young. I was 5. A lot of things that happened to me, I didn't understand them. I understood them later. We were 6 siblings, 6 girls, 6 boys, but 3 girls, 3 boys. We lived a normal life of an ordinary family. But the only difference was that we were Tutsi by ethnicity, and therefore we lived in constant insecurity. In the Kibirira district, between 10 and 15, April, more than 350 people in my neighborhood were killed, including my family. So I started feeling that maybe I don't have a right to live. Every night they would come, every night they shout at our door, and they would hear whistles. And then parents would try and take us by the back door to the church or to a classroom, somewhere to hide. I remember that even when I was at school, as a school girl, we were 2 Tutsis at that time, 2 surviving Tutsis. And the teacher would say, Tutsis, stand up. And the Tutsis would stand up. We would stand up. And I couldn't understand that, because they would point fingers at us. And we were excluded. It's like we were not part of the community. We were ashamed because we were fingered. Now, on the 7th of April, we were home. It was announced that President Habyarimana had died, but of course I was too young to understand what that meant. He died, it's sad, but I could see that other people were very frightened. There was a panic. The parents, the children. By that time, we were 5 children at home. And mom and dad. Dad was not there because he had gone to visit to Gitarama to visit a relative who was ill. So actually, the genocide started without him. He couldn't leave Kabgai where he'd gone to see his relative, and that's how he survived. And the rest of us, the rest of my family died. There was also another sibling who had traveled. He also survived. And we had an aunt who was a nun in a convent in Mukarangi. She also survived. But on the 7th, we had another relatives, other relatives who are on another hill across ours. There were a lot of people in that family, many members of that family that we knew. They were all decimated. So my sister said, our older sister, she said to us young people, she said, go to the church of Nyange, the parish church.
nkajya kwa marene wanjye
I
nari
said,
mfite umubyeyi wabatisimu
why don't I go to
nari maze
my
iminsi mikeya
godmother?
mbatijwe
Because I had just been
numvaga ari ahantu haraye
baptized
ntabwo ari uko
a
nari
short
nzi ko
while ago,
naharokokera
and I had a godmother.
hanyuma
And I said,
ndababwira ntibaretse
if I
akaba ariho
could go to my
nigiye
godmother,
kuko n'ubundi
I
ku
think I will
kiliziya atari
survive.
amakiriro yari amabura
Because the
akindi kujyayo
church, there is no use
barambwira
going
bati
to the
se
churches
n'ubundi ntabwo
because
tuzi
people
aho
have
umuntu
been
azakirira nibakureke
massacred in
wigendere
churches. So mother said, well,
navuye
in
mu
any
rugo
case,
nzamukana na mukuru
one
wanjye
choice
n'umusaza
you
wanjye
have. You go
mutoya
wherever you
abandi
think you
basaza
should
banjye
go. So I
bakuru
did.
babiri bari mu rugo bari bagiye kwahura amatungo
Two of my brothers
hanyuma tugeze ahantu
were
twagombaga
outside. They were
gutandukanira
herding the
bagakomeza
cattle.
bajya ku kiliziya
They were tending the cattle,
nanjye
and those
ngakomereza aho
went
hitwaga
their own
ingobagoba nari
way.
ngiye kwihisha
I also went my
mukuru
way,
wanjye arandeba
and my sister saw me
arambwira ati ngaho
going,
genda
and she said, well,
imana nikugirira neza
go.
tugashobora kurokoka tuzongera tubonane
go, if
ko
we
ntabwo
survive,
byashobotse
we'll meet
wanjye
again.
ntabwo nongeye kumubona ukundi
But she died. I never saw her again.
yakomereje ku kiliziya na musaza wanjye mutoya
So I walked to the
njyewe
church
nkomereza mu muryango
with
nari
my younger
ngiyemo
brother, was with me, my younger
Mbere yuko
brother, and we
nkomeza
went to
ubuzima
that
nabayemo
family
nari
of my
ngiye
godmothers.
kamvuge gatoya
Let me just
urugendo
come back and
rw'abarigiye ku
explain
kiliziya nubwo
what
hari indi ariko
happened to
aho nari
those
ndi
who went
makuru nayo
wide in
namenyaga
the church.
ndetse na nyuma
I wasn't
dukomeza
there,
gukurikirana kugira ngo
but we told
turebe
the
ko hari
story
umuntu yaba yararokoye
to see
nubwo
if anybody
bitadukundiraga
had
kenshi
survived.
twumvaga amakuru mabi y'urupfu bapfuye
But in fact, all we had
nashoboye
was
kumenya ko
their
bageze
death.
ku
So and so
kiliziya
dead.
nimugoroba
So and so died. This
umunsi
way.
ukurikiyeho mukuru wanjye bari bashonje ajyana
So
agasaza kanjye
I
gatoya bajya mu
heard that
bajya mu
my
babikira
sister took my
twari tuziranye
younger,
kuko
who had a
umuryango
baby
wabo
brother,
niwo mukuru wanjye yaragiye
who was very sick,
kwihama imana
or rather very hungry.
bagenda nk'abagiye
So they
gusaba
said,
ibyo
well, we're
kurya
going to the convent. We have
hanyuma mukuru wanjye arya urwara agasaza
elder sister
kanjye
is there, or aunt is
gufata
there.
mukurikira bavayo
Let's go. So they
agasaza
went.
kanjye kaje
So
kurokoka
the little
ayo
boy,
makuru yo yambwiye nyine uko
the little
byagenze
boy,
kugira ngo
when
asigare
they had given
babikira
him the food that
mukuru
he
wanjye
needed, he
yasubiye ku
refused to
kiliziya
go back
ubwo
to the
yari
church
arimo
with my
papa wanjye
sister. So my sister went,
basaza
because
banjye
there were the
babiri
others, you know, the
papa
other
yagerageje
relatives.
kubashyira mu miryango ngo babahishe ariko
And in fact,
ntibyakunda bahita babazana ku kiliziya nabo
my father
aho
on his side
umugambi wo
had also
kubicira wari
arranged for
uteganyirijwe
hiding places for the young,
hanyuma
for the children, so that they
babaye
don't
mu
all die
kiliziya
together.
bagerageza kwirwanaho uko bashoboye
So anyway, those who were in the church
ntibyakunda kubera ko ku itariki 16
tried
z'ukwezi
to
kwa kane
fight off the attackers who were
nibwo
attacking
padiri
the church,
seromba
but
wari uyoboye kiliziya ya
they
nyange
resisted for a long time. But the
yatanze
parish
uburenganzira
priest
bwo
of
gusenya kiliziya yose kugira ngo bizere neza ko abatutsi bose bari bahungiyemo
himself
barangiye
decided that they should
kwicwa
destroy the church instead, so that all the
Kiliziya
Tutsis are
barayihiritse,
killed, because it's very difficult to kill them
ubumuga
one by
bwacu
one.
bose burangirira aho ngaho
So they destroyed the church, and that was the end of my family. You just you know,
ubu
it
ninjye wari ukomeje
fell
kubaho
over them.
ko nabitekerezaga
So I thought I was the only survivor.
nari naragiye
I
mu
was,
muryango
as
kwa
I
marene
explained, that I had gone to
yari
my
umugabo n'umugore
godmother's house.
umugore
She and
wahigwaga
her husband.
umugabo adahigwa
Well, the thing is that
umugabo yari umwarimu umugore ari umugerefiye
the
w'urukiko
husband
bari abantu
was
bakomeye
a teacher, the wife
hanyuma akaba
was
umusozi utari
a court
uri
clerk,
hafi
very
y'iwacu hamwe hari
important
muri
people
ngobagoba
relatively.
ahandi iwacu ari i murambi
And one was from,
Njyewe
they were
nari
not from
umwana
the
muto
same
ku myaka
area,
11,
but they were not,
ntabwo
their origin,
abantu
places of
benshi baho
origin
bari
was not
banzi
very far. But
ariko
anyway, I
kubera ko urwo
wasn't,
rugo rwari rurimo uwo mubyeyi
I was
hahoraga ibitero buri
fine
munsi
at that time.
bazaga kuhatera
At her house.
kadusohora twese tugahagarara
But
hanze
who also persecuted,
ariko ngera
they
muri
would
urwo rugo
come and
umugabo
throw us out
nyir'urugo yarambwiye
and beat us up.
arabirebye barabibona
But
ko
by the way, I
mpahungiye
forgot to say that the husband of
arambwira
my
ati
godmothers,
nihagira umuntu ukubaza uwo uri we ujye uvuga ko
he
uri
said
umwana
to
wawe
me,
yambwiye
when
izina
they
rya
ask
mukuru we
you
wabaga
who
i
you
kigali
are, say you are the daughter of so and so who is on holiday here. So, okay, I said, fine. So, but, they will come, the attackers will come, with the machetes and the swords and all sorts of weapons and spears and so on. And they will come, attack the house, take everything, break what they can take, saying that they are looking for my godmother who was hiding from them because they did what they could to protect me. Sometimes they spend the whole night taking those who had run to them, hiding them in the bushes, then having to move them to another place and so on. And they try their best because they too had been attacked and the food there was no food. It was horrible. Anyway, a day came when somebody came and said, now this is your day, and I don't think we can hide you anymore. So somebody came and said, let me go and hide her. So I went away with that person. They said we have to go and hide that person to that house, to the house over there. That will be probably safer. But we went to that house, and the woman had also her husband and her children as well. She was the only survivor. So we left that place. We had to try to hide somewhere else. And we met another group of Interahamwe, but I managed to hide from them. And I continued to find hiding places. So that lasted the whole month of April, and then May, and then we were at the beginning of June. So the rumor started to run around that now the Inhotanyi, RPF, have come. And Interahamwe are starting to run. But before running, they killed whoever they couldn't kill. My godmother, who was a Tutsi, and her husband was a Tutsi, the husband had tried his best to protect us and hide his wife and so on. But in the end, it was very difficult. It was very difficult. The second family that I had tried to hide with had to leave the house. So they walked to a place called Rufungo, and they found a roadblock, those roadblocks manned by Interahamwe terrorists, and they killed them. And we were still hiding, managed to hide, but I can't continue with some other children that I could find who were also orphans, smallish children. And they said, the elder daughter said, so anyway, we went to a house, we found a house to hide where there was nobody except the children who had managed to hide. And then these children said, what do I do? What do I do to find food? So somebody said, well, why don't you go to the convent? There's a convent over there. So I went to the convent. When I got to the convent, I found that we found a car by the convent. Somebody put us in the car, in a pickup, and covered us with a tarpaulin. And then drove us away, and we kept saying that this is just his luggage, his goods. These are just his goods in the car. So I went to a place. I reached a barrier. I didn't know whether the people I was with were Hutus or Tutsis. I didn't know who they were. I was just walking away. And none of my family were there. Even my brother, who eventually survived, I didn't know where he was. So I was alone with these people. So I sat down you know, I moved aside from the group. I sat down on a stone and I started crying. And a woman came by and she said, "Stop crying. What is, why are you crying?" He said, "Well, I don't know where to go. I have nobody." She said, "Don't worry. Even though these people have nobody, just like you, just walk. Just go on. Just try to run away. Don't give up." So I did, and eventually we just sort of moved to a place following others, and we found a place where we could find, where we could hide rather. But they said, "Don't go further. There are groups of Interahamwe who are on rampage over there, and they're killing all the survivors." So somebody said, "Okay, let's stay here." But then staying here, I started being afraid because I could hear the shouts. And then, in any case, I said, "How can I stay here? I don't know anybody. These people are strangers. I'm sure all my family is dead." But anyway, I wasn't. Somebody said, "Well, stay here. Stay. You can't go anywhere." Anyway, eventually we found a car. Somebody came, took us in a car. It was a pickup, but we were not covered. They said, "Just go on. Just go on." So they dropped us somewhere. And then they said, "Just walk, walk." So as we walked past that, we saw there were trucks of, and they were explained that these are in Hotanyi, these are RPF, because we were in the turquoise zone, and there had been an agreement for RPF to be allowed to pick up the refugees who were in that zone. So So here I thank you, Mr. President, because this is how we were saved. Anyway, they took us somewhere, on a safe place, and eventually heard that my mother had survived, that one of my brothers had survived, that one of the elder brothers had joined the RPF, and he was also there. He was survived. Eventually, well, let me just conclude that we were rescued, we were helped. I went back to school. I went to university as well. Even university, the university degree, I got it myself. I paid for myself. So that's my life. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for putting an end to the genocide, giving us back our life. Today, I have my elder child is 11. The age I had when during the genocide. He's healthy. He's okay. He's not destroyed like I was. He's just a fine young person. And that's thanks to you. Thank you very much. And we want to promise that we survivors, we are strong. We'll build the country. We'll do it together. Thank you very much. Good commemoration.
Louise Komera, Turiho. Thank you for your grace.
Well, thank you for your testimony.
Excellencies, honorable guests, nous allons à présent assister à une représentation artistique intitulée The Gift of Time, qui reprend en 3 temps l'histoire de notre pays.
Merci beaucoup.
Ce morceau de danse contemporaine regroupe des jeunes artistes provenant de différentes troupes de danse de notre capitale. Sous la direction de M. Wesley Ruzibiza et avec la collaboration.
We now hear another song performance. Hervé Twahirwa, Samuel Kamanzi, Cedric Mizero, Sisi Uera, who are going to tell in artistic form what happened during the genocide and what happened after the genocide and what is happening now, where our generations are now doing well with no fear, no terror. Thank you.
Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, tugiye gukurikirana igihangano cya Ruzibiza Wesley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we're now going to hear young people tell the story of the genocide, how it started, how it continued, how we moved like blindfolded people into a genocide. But tomorrow, the future, the immediate future, is bright. And this is what these people are going to tell in their art form.